So morning, my lovely yogis, joining me on the mat, either seated or lying down. And let's just have a moment to arrive in this space. We've had a little bit of time off, and so it's lovely just to sort of come back and settle. And taking a few breaths. And just really noticing your breath. Sometimes through life, there are things that come and they, when we're a little bit poorly, they'll affect our breath. And like one of you just mentioned, it's so important, or the practice of yoga, where we're so aware of our breath, the quality of our breath, the depth of our breath. We can really notice when we are out of sync or out of tune. Not many people will probably be aware of their breath because it's such an unconscious thing that they just take for granted every day. So with that, let's just take a few breaths. Nice deep inhale. Feel the belly and the chest rise. And a nice slow exhale. Just feeling the belly and chest drop to the back of the body. And really enjoying how it feels around the nostrils as we breathe in. That coolness on the inhale, and there's ever such a slight warmth on the exhale. How do you feel in your body today? Just have a short scan from head to toe, noticing if there's any aches and pains, or whether we feel quite refreshed in a certain area. Notice whether your energy feels quite light, or there's a denseness to your energy today. And how charged you feel. And just being aware if there is a mantra or something that you would like to set as an intention for your practice. Maybe we'll focus on the breath today. So if you're lying down, just have a few moments now to hug the knees in. Enjoy a nice rock on your back. And we'll do mindfulness of breath today. So important, the breath. We can live without food for quite some weeks. We can live without water for days. But the breath, not long. We do need the breath. So come into a nice comfortable seated position, however that is for you. And we'll take about 5 minutes. But mindfulness of breath, the 4 stages where we count the exhale 1 to 10. Swap round, count the inhale 1 to 10. Drop the counting completely. And then that 4th part where we just really tune into the breath and the mechanics of the body and everything that we feel connected with our breath. So literally just being very mindful of our breath. So just resting your hands in comfortable Dhyana Mudra. We'll close the eyes and begin. So count the exhale. Relax your body and shoulders. And just observe your thoughts as you do this counting of the breath. And when you get to 10, just swap to counting the inhale. There's no rush. Stay relaxed. After 10, just relax the counting completely, following your breath. And then just gently become aware of everything that you feel as you breathe now. Your mind is resting on your breath. And with a few more conscious breaths, we'll just come to the end of this practice. And you can blink your eyes open gently. How did that feel? Was that quite peaceful? Was the mind busy and wandering? Just notice. So pop in your cushions aside and we're going to come into butterfly. Quite nice restful poses today, and I'm actually going to use a couple of blankets for the knees. Even though I don't always need them, it's actually quite nice to feel sort of supported, like a metaphor for support in our life. So just relaxing into this. Let the head rest forward. And then just gradually in your own time, you can feel that release through your neck. Noticing any tension you've got in the thighs and around the knees. And we can continue that mindfulness of breath through our practice if we want to. Focusing on the breath in the belly. And how it moves and migrates through the back of the body. How do you feel today? How do you feel, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally? Exploring where your mind likes to wander. And what feels good in your body today? What can we appreciate? Feeling grateful for our health and wellness. Noticing if the body feels softer and we can move into the pose a bit more. How does it feel around our hips? Relaxing through the shoulders and neck. Enjoying your breath. And just noticing your thoughts in this very moment. We'll take one more breath. Gently lifting up. Enjoying the release just as we come out of this nice pose. And then finding neutral. Have a nice big breath and a sigh. And notice whatever your body is holding. What part of your body enjoyed that stretch in butterfly? Can you feel a lovely kind of fresh tingliness around hips and thighs, perhaps? And are you still tense through your back? Sometimes it takes a few moments to really let go, especially through the lumbar spine. All the muscles that support us there, just relaxing them. Following some lovely deep breaths in the belly. And just enjoy being in your body today and being you. quite often we can be very critical of ourselves. So I like to think of the four corners of your yoga mat, my yoga mat, as a place where I can actually be quite kind and loving to myself, when other times I might default into that inner self-critic. So let's draw our knees in, have a nice little hug. Give yourself a little bit of love. I know a lot of people can't easily do that self-love thing. So I think the baby step is to like. What do you like about yourself? Let's come up to seated. We're going to come into shoelace today. So I like to start this sort of in a kneeling position and drawing the right leg in front. Coming back, I like a little cushion just to support the buttocks, because this isn't the easiest pose for me. But we've started with butterfly, where we've taken the legs out and opened up the hips. And so this one is sort of counterposing, where we draw the legs across, and see what that feels like today. And then when you're ready in your own time, just settle into it. You might want to start quite upright, and then gradually, as everything starts to melt a bit, we can lean forward. If any of these poses today really don't feel right for whatever reason, just loosen out of them, come out of them completely. Listen to your body. Deep breath. Where's the tension? Perhaps it's around the hips and the buttocks. Sometimes the inner thighs, where we're kind of trying to hold the legs in place. You might find that your feet like slip a little, mine do, and then they kind of find a restful place. Relax your calf muscles if there's a little bit of tension there. And just tuning into what stretch you're feeling. This is great for gallbladder. And just checking in with your mind. Are you more focused on your physical feelings, or breath, or mind? Where does your focus naturally go in this particular pose? Some poses you'll notice it that your mind naturally goes to your breath. And others will be a lot more focused around physical sensation. Notice if any movement in the pose creates a brand new, fresh sensation. And just keep looking for areas that you can relax. Finding stillness. Noticing how you feel about this pose today, whether it's something that's you're liking or it's quite welcome in some strange way. Whether you feel surrendered to the pose that you're in. And so we'll just take another breath and just gently coming up. I really like to move slowly as I come out with this one. There's a few poses in yin that just coming out slowly, you can really feel so much. Nice relief. Really nice pose because we're working with hips that are so very linked with our sacral, so lower belly and digestive and our lower back and all the emotions that are linked with this chakra. So just take a few moments to let everything soften and settle, especially the lower back. Where can you feel tingliness? Thighs, inner thighs, tops of your thighs. And the wonderful thing about particularly yin, the stillness and the quietness that we have in these poses, whatever pose it is, we are really cultivating and refining our awareness on our body, our breath. So when we know things are out of balance, we're so much more attuned than perhaps the average person who would overlook something, ignore it. So hugging in, and we'll come into the other side, being curious as to what this will feel like. Is it going to be as challenging? Is it going to be easy? What will our thoughts be like? So drawing the left leg across and the front. And using again whatever support that you need. Have a few moments to wriggle into this pose. It's funny because this pose isn't necessarily my favourite, but I'm actually really enjoying this one today, strangely. Must be benefiting me on some level that I'm unaware of, perhaps. So notice, how does it feel in the hips as you just gently come into this one? Is it a different sensation completely? Perhaps there's a deeper stretch around the thighs. Nice deep breaths. Relax your calf muscles behind the knees. And just keep looking through for whatever you can let go of. Notice if your breath feels quite deep or whether it's shallow. Observing your thoughts, just be that witness. How do you feel? Connect in this very moment to how you're feeling. It might be a mix of emotions. Can you even articulate them in your mind? Rotating awareness back to your body. Is your abdomen tight as you breathe, or can you enjoy nice, deep, loose breaths? As we sit in these poses for about 5 minutes, can you observe the journey of the pose? How it feels when we the first time we come into it. How it maybe starts to soften partway through. And there's a familiar feeling as we draw towards the end. So we'll just take one lovely deep breath. And just having that kind of little mental comparison of how it felt to come into it and now as we come out of it, nice and slowly. Lovely release through the legs as well, where we've kind of been bound. Relax. And just gently take the time to let the spine and back muscles soften. Notice if you're holding a tension in the abdomen, if the breath is tight. How do you feel in your body right now? And then gently we'll draw the knees in, one at a time, right then left. Enjoy a nice rock around. Nice deep breath. We've brought the body forward a few times there, so I'd like to come into bench. And then after bench, we're going to come into twisted deer. So we've brought the body forwards and backwards and then into twists today. So if you've got a little cushion, I was going to do heart bench, but actually this one felt like the right one today. I always take it a couple of inches away from the back and then come down. Just so it's not so much of a curve in lumbar and it's more of a stretch through the upper body and thoracic. If you need a little rolled blanket under the neck or a block, then please just use whatever props you feel needed today. And just really relax here. You can have the arms by your side or a little bit further out, whatever feels right. Let the legs relax, the The feet can flop to the side. And in this very supportive pose, really look through for whatever tension that you're holding that you maybe don't need to. Allow the mat, the cushion to support you. Relaxing all your facial muscles as well. Unclench the jaw if there's any tightness. Noticing if there's any tension in the lower back and buttocks, around the pelvis. Wrists and hands. And as you breathe, just being aware of whether you are breathing fully with a full inhale and full exhale, or whether the breath is kind of half released. Relaxing around the rings of the eyes and the eyebrows. Is it easier for the mind to wander in this particular pose rather than maybe shoelace? How much focus is there on the physical? And we'll gently just take a last breath in this pose. Lifting up the head. Gently just lift the body a little so we can pull the cushion out. Come down. And just enjoy whatever that feels like for you. Perhaps you feel like your breathing feels a little bit more open where we've had the chest open. And just allow yourself to explore within, awareness of the internal dialogue, being that witness. And then when you're ready, we'll draw the knees in again, lovely little rock. And if you have a bolster, we're going to come into twisted deer. If you haven't got a bolster, then a big stack of cushions is always quite helpful. So I'm going to start, because my bolster is to my right, I'll pull it in this way. Bring your right shin to the front, and the left leg swings round to the side of you, drawing bolster into the right hip, and just turning belly, coming down. Give it a cuddle. Really lovely, supportive, quite restorative pose, this one. Try and relax your shoulders, especially the right one. In this pose, you might find that it kind of hunches up towards your ear. Just keep relaxing. And relax the feet, ankles. And we can breathe deeply and feel the breath and the belly push against the bolster. Your left arm can place wherever you wish. It can be kind of drawn towards the body. If you want to stretch it, then you can just encourage a lovely stretch through the left side of your body. Whatever feels right. Just check in to see if your buttocks are tight in any way. Whether there's a tightness around your waist, either side, or the belly. And a slight adjustment of your face and cheek against the bolster may relax your neck a little more. Keep looking for tension. There's always some somewhere. Maybe it's your face. Let your cheeks relax. And just being aware of any adjustments you need to make. If you need to come out of the pose again, please do. Some days this will feel right, other days it won't. So we'll just take one more breath here. Nice and gently moving out. Lifting up slowly. If you want to bring the bolster sort of towards the other side of you, then that can be ready for the other side. Find neutral. And just as you lie here with your eyes closed, maybe just allow yourself to scan through Where can you feel warmth or coolness, tingling? Some areas and then not in others. Inner thighs. Perhaps you can feel a lovely fresh feeling in the midsection where we've come into this twist. Lovely for your solar plexus energy. So bringing these in, we'll come into the other side. Twists are always lovely for gallbladder as well. So rocking up to seated and then left shin to the front. Right leg comes round to the side. And then the bolster towards the left hip and then bringing the body round. To what degree you twist the body is really up to you. Sometimes I see people come down quite side on and other people really do twist and bring the belly and chest down. Listen to your body and your lower back. And then nice deep breaths, relaxing. Relax through the thighs and buttocks. If you need a bit of padding underneath where you're sitting, just for a bit more comfort, then that's always an option. Notice if one side feels better than the other as well. It's always quite curious to me that the same pose but will feel really reflect differently through the body, different sides. Trying to relax. Keep looking through, especially if the buttocks clench, calf muscles tight. Relaxing the head and neck. And are you breathing fully or are they half breaths? How are you feeling about yourself right now? How does this pose feel to you? Is it welcome? Just keep checking for tension. Can you follow your breath? Really observing mindfully all the parts that move. And we'll just gently take a breath. Last one in this pose. And lifting up slowly. Notice if through your practice today, the 5 minutes that we've taken in pretty much all of the poses, whether sometimes 5 minutes in one pose can feel a lot longer than 5 in another. How time bends when we're either enjoying or not a certain position the body's in. Let's have a moment just to feel neutral spine. And as you scan through, just notice if anything feels better or has improved from, weeks ago, months ago. We can really use this time on our mat to observe the changes in our body, improvements and ailments. Not just physically, the speed at which we can relax or how mindful we can be more often are always measures of our practice too. Perhaps our mind is a lot quieter when we're in our poses now than it was a few years ago. So drawing your knees in, let's come into a nice restful, relaxing pose. Either seated or lying down, whatever you decide to choose. What does your body want today? Or your mind. Sometimes your mind may want to sit or lie. Pop a blanket over you. Or put on your socks and warm clothes. Even though it's spring, there's still a little chill around, I think. So I'm going to just read you a lovely little meditation. You may have heard it before, but it's quite nice to just drift off into the words. Be amused by how your mind creates the images perhaps and how it feels this time round. So as you relax there, just softening everything, close the eyes. Feel the whole of your body just surrendering into this moment, just allowing. This moment is all there is, so try and empty the mind by cultivating space. On an inhalation, breathe into that empty space, create room to breathe, and on an exhalation, release clutter and thoughts, the anxieties of the day, work or commitments. Let everything just fall back into the universe. Breathe in freedom and allow the mind to rest in relaxation, free from thought. In this quiet freedom, the mind rests and recovers. On this journey, just listen and allow the visualization to take you to a deep peace, both mentally and physically. Drift into that safe, secure, calm place where you feel at ease and you can let go of your attachments. You now feel lighter and the heart is being welcomed home. you find yourself sitting beside the sea on a grassy cliff overlooking a sandy cove. A path leads down towards the sandy bay. The day is sunny and bright. The grass is warm and dry. Clumps of pink sea thrift turn the cliff tops into a blanket pink. White daisies, buttercups, and clover remind you of childhood daisy chains and looking for four-leafed clovers. You lie back on the warm grass. Clouds drift by, white and fluffy. Pictures take form, shapes appear, and as you daydream, you find yourself drifting. The warm sun on your face, the smell of the sea air, seagulls nesting, the path leading down to the sandy cove, a small boat anchored, the warm sand on bare feet, the shimmering sea, the silence, a lone yacht on the horizon, a sheltered cove, a small rock pool and a sand castle, a hidden cave, a secret haven of peace and tranquility. The breath is now slow and steady. You feel as though the breath is breathing the body. Every part of your body is breathing. With each steady inhalation and exhalation, you sense a quiet pulse. Rest in this stillness. Feel the warm sea breeze brush over your face. Breathe in the fresh sea air, laden with prana and life. Breathe in positive ions. Breathe in this moment and hold it. And just taking some time here, a few more minutes. And gently as you bring yourself back from this visualization, just allow yourself to feel energized but also peaceful. It's lovely to have these little images in your mind where you can kind of draw on that picture sometimes and just have a moment of peace, even if it's in the center of chaos. So just beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Take a few deep breaths. And if you're lying down, hug the knees in, have a little rock and enjoy that on your back. And gently in your own time, coming up to seated. And whatever energy you're feeling in right now, just sort of move slowly through the next part of your day. It's nice to just hold on to some yin energy. So when you're ready, just draw your hands together. Om Shanti. Namaste.